Hey guys, it's Amber from Notable Ink. Welcome back. Have you ever bought new watercolors, swatched them out as suggested, maybe even played around with mixing the colors, and then asked, what now? What do I do now? I asked myself the same question, so I decided to create this ink and wash pansy, and I'm going to share that with you today. Okay, I'm starting off with a number 2 pencil that came in my art toolkit. I'll have all of the links to supplies listed down below for you guys. I have a photo reference of a viola. This is a viola, actually not a pansy. And I have a Stillman and Birn watercolor sketchbook. Now this has 270-gram paper or GSM paper, and that is considered heavyweight for these types of journals. I haven't fallen in love with these journals yet. So I have this one and I have a moleskin journal. And I feel like the paper has a coating on it. Like the watercolors don't absorb into the paper like the typical 100% cotton paper that I am used to using. So I'm trying to decide, do I keep going on with these journals and use them up? I bought them. Of course, I want to get my money's worth out of them. Or do I just go ahead and make my own watercolor journal with the paper that I prefer? If you guys have experience with this or you have a preferred watercolor journal that you use, please let me know in the comments down below because I am new to kind of using journals for watercolor and doing sketching and that kind of thing. And I'd love to know what you guys are using and what you enjoy. So the reason I picked a viola for this sketch is because it has very elemental shapes. You've got circles, ovals, some rounded triangles, super simple shapes to work with. It's not very complicated, and I'm just going to draw in a bit of the details here. Now, typically if I were sketching this and not recording it, I would probably sketch it out lighter, or I would erase the image a little bit before I started watercoloring. I'm not going to erase any of this because then I think it'll be too difficult for you guys to see on film. It's so bright in my room that the light kind of bleaches out the lines as it is. So I'll go ahead and keep the lines full strength on the graphite here. So I'm just redefining and fine-tuning my shapes here and erasing a little bit of the extra lines. Before we get to the painting, let's back up a little bit and talk a little bit about the inspiration for this project. So I recently filled this pocket palette with 28 Daniel Smith watercolors. So recently what I've been doing is picking a color and mixing it with all the other colors in my palette. So I end up with 27 mixtures plus the original colors, so 28 colors. I have put off mixing and swatching colors because I feel like just swatching out squares is super boring. But I recently watched a video by James Burke. I'll put a link to that video down below. And he draws little dolls and swatches on those. So I thought, well, I could do that with Zentangle. So that's how this came about. Not only is it more interesting to swatch in the negative spaces of the tangling that I do in my journal, it also gives me an opportunity to practice Zentangle because I'm so out of practice with it, even though I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. So here you can see the base color that I used was raw umber violet, and I mixed all of my colors with that. So I painted this swatch page here, and all of the mixtures are still in my palette. So I had all these mixtures and I was like, okay, well, let me paint something with this. I don't want to just rinse these colors off my palette. So here I'm mixing raw umber violet with Hansa yellow light, and I'm mixing more of it because I've already used the amount that I mixed up just to do the swatching. So this is going to create a warm yellow, really pretty kind of golden yellow, and I'll use this on the viola as the main yellow. You can see that I didn't completely clean my brush here. It still has some of the mixture on it, but that's no problem. I'm just doing a wet on wet technique, and I'll drop in this mixture. So I have now swatched 4 different colors this way. I did phthalo blue green shade, French ultramarine, the raw umber violet, which is what you guys are seeing here, and then also Quinacridone rose. And just by mixing the colors with the colors that I have, to create 28 colors, I feel like I've learned so much about color mixing just with this exercise that I'm doing. Now, will I end up doing all 28 colors? I'm not sure. I don't know. But I'm definitely enjoying the exercise of it and learning a lot about color mixing along the way, and also finding some colors that I absolutely love. I've found that I'm totally in love, like I said, with this raw umber violet, but also with Naples yellow. Quinacridone rose, if you don't have Quinacridone rose from Daniel Smith, I highly recommend that color. That color plays well with everything. So here I'm mixing up a purple. I have Quinacridone purple and French Ultramarine. And I'm just going to mix that up because you can see the top of the flowers, and on film, the top of the viola is actually a lot more blue purple than what you see in the photo. So the color that you see on my page is actually going to be more accurate than what you're seeing on that photo on screen. And that's just because of the lighting in the room. In any case, it doesn't really matter. You can mix whatever kind of purple you like. But because I had already done the Zentangle swatches with French Ultramarine, I knew that mixing French Ultramarine and Quinacridone purple was going to give me the color that I was after. The Quinacridone purple was a little too red of a purple. French Ultramarine is too blue, but I knew putting those together would create that perfect purple. So already I'm benefiting from this exercise that I'm doing. Here I mixed Quinacridone Rose with Raw Umber Violet because those two petals that are in the center there, they have a warmer shade to them. They have kind of like that rosy purple, not quite burgundy. That would be too dark, I think. So I wanted some color variation in there, and that color is gorgeous. I absolutely love it. It's just a really pretty color. But like I said, Quinacridone Rose mixes beautifully with just about everything. It is a really pretty color and super clear. So, before I bought these 28 paints, I did some research into what kind of colors I wanted, what was I really after. And I know just from my style of painting and coloring, I like really bright colors. And I like super saturated colors. Like, I don't want to have to work really hard to get the paint out of the pan and do 1,000 coats of it. So I want it to be super vibrant, to have a strong tinting strength so that I don't have to work really hard at getting the pigment on the page. Hopefully that makes sense. The Quinacridones, the pyrroles, and the purulines I find are very strong colors. So quinacridones are known for being super vibrant, being extremely transparent, and very saturated. So if that's something that you're interested in, you may want to give those a whirl. However, they also neutralize beautifully as well. So that's what I found in these color mixes is that, I mixed the Quinacridone Rose with this raw umber violet, which is kind of like a purpley brown neutral color. And look how pretty it neutralized. It's not vibrant at all anymore. It's really dulled down and neutralized and just gorgeous. So it's a great base color to start with, and then play around with your mixing and see what kind of colors you can get. So here I decided to add another layer of the French Ultramarine and Quinacridone purple mix, and here I'm just re-wetting because these dried a little bit, so I'm re-wetting the yellow petal, and I'm just going to drop in some of that purple at the bottom, which is what I saw on my inspiration photo. So I'm kind of just touching the page with my paintbrush. I'll take a little ultramarine directly from the pan, a little bit of the Quinacridone purple directly from the pan, and drop that in and just let it do its thing. So I'm not going to touch the edges of it. I'll just let it feather out and blend on its own, which I think will look really pretty and very similar to what you see in the inspiration photo up on the left. So I'm just deepening my colors. The thing with watercolors, you can start very light and you want to build up your colors. It's really like any other coloring, you guys. So people say the same thing about Copics: start light, build up your color. Same thing with color pencils. You start light, build up your color. So this is the raw umber violet by itself. This is what the color looks like. And then all the other wells in this palette you see are other colors that are mixed with that raw umber violet. So raw umber violet, the reason I purchased it, if you follow me, then you know that one of my favorite Copic color families is the E70 family. It's a neutral that's kind of a purple brownish. One of the colors in the E70 family is hot cocoa or cocoa, and it looks very much like hot cocoa. Like hot cocoa has a little bit of that purple tinge to it. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. But this Daniel Smith watercolor is very much like that color family, and I love it. I love a kind of taupe purple tinge neutral. So I've used that for the center of my flower, and I will darken that up later on. Next up, I'm going to mix some new gamboge with the raw umber violet, and I'll just add a little bit of a deeper, warmer gold yellow color to the center here, as well as just a touch of gray on top. And you'll see that mixing the raw umber violet with some of your blue greens gives you a beautiful gray. So I'm not sure exactly which gray I'm using right now. It's whatever was in my palette over there. This palette I got from Jackson's Art. It's a porcelain palette, and it has 21 of those small circular wells and then that very large well at the top. So I actually have 28 spaces that matches my pocket palette perfectly. And it allows me to mix all the colors in one go in one palette, which is nice. So here I have let the viola dry completely. It's a little bit later in the day, so you can see there's a color change in my lighting. And I'm going to add a little bit more of that Quinacridone rose and raw umber violet mixture to these petals. I'm going to build up my colors. I think this is beautiful. If you wanted to keep this as a light wash, you could stop right here and not add any more. But I wanted to deepen up my colors because that's how I go. I kind of like those deeper, darker colors. I added a touch of the French Ultramarine and Quinacridone purple mixture on top of that, and you can see that start to granulate a little bit. French Ultramarine and Ultramarine have a little bit of granulation in them. Not too much though. It's not like overwhelming granulation. I really like the granulation effect, but not everybody does. So the one thing that's nice about Daniel Smith watercolors, probably all watercolor brands, I don't know. I kind of went for Daniel Smith because those were the most well-known for me, to me. They provide you all of that information. So when you're choosing the colors that you want to purchase, if you don't already have watercolors, look at those different characteristics. This is Pyrrole Crimson and Raw Umber Violet just because I got lazy and didn't want to mix more of the Quinacridone Rose and Raw Umber Violet. It was just right next to it. They're very close in color, although I do prefer the Quinacridone Rose version. But look at those characteristics. One of the things that I would recommend is looking at the light fast quality of the paint. If it's not light fast, I wouldn't recommend it, especially if you're going to be doing projects that you want to last long term. And if you're just creating a greeting card, which is the majority of what I do, then light fastness isn't really that big of a deal. But if you're going to put time and effort into creating something, you might as well buy colors that are going to be light fast and will last the duration. Here I'm just adding a little bit of that new gamboge and raw umber violet mixture to deepen up this bottom petal. Things are looking pretty good. I am going to deepen up this little area down here and get those paints to blend in and kind of bleed out a little bit. And then I'll start deepening up the petals at the top. I posted one of my Zentangle color swatch pictures up on my Instagram stories and did a poll to find out if you guys would be interested in a video actually seeing the swatches. Overwhelmingly, the majority said yes. But I need a little bit of feedback from you guys. What part of that process is most important to you? Because I can film the tangling that I do in the journal. If that's something that you're interested in, would you want that in a separate video? Do you not want to see that at all? And then in terms of the actual swatching, do you want to see me mixing the colors in the palette, or do you just want to see me putting the color on the page? What part of that process is most important to you, and really, what do you want to see? Let me know in the comments down below. Those videos would be more lengthy for sure. This one is too. Normally I keep my videos to about 10 minutes. This one's almost 20 minutes long. And does that work for you? Do you guys like the longer videos? I know for me, I usually prefer shorter videos. So if longer videos aren't your thing, I totally get it. Let me know your thoughts down below on what is it that you guys are wanting to see. I'm just mixing more of this purple for those larger petals up top. And I'll speed these up. So anytime I do my second coat of paint, normally I will do a wet on wet technique. So this flower had already dried, so I just used a damp brush to re-wet the entire petal. And now I'm dropping in the Ultramarine and Quinacridone purple mixture here. And I let that dry somewhat before I move on to the next petal, or I don't touch the edge all the way. If I were to do a wet on dry technique, so the petal is dry, I'm bringing a wet brush to it, then you would create hard edges. So you can see some hard edges in this petal here that I'm working on where the yellow meets the purple. Totally okay. I like that look, but I like to have some soft areas and some of those hard edge areas within the same composition. Here I have raw umber violet and Mayan dark blue, and that creates kind of like a bluish gray. And then here I have raw umber violet and indigo, which is even darker because indigo is a stronger color. So I'm using the tip of my number 8 pointed round brush, and I've used the same brush for the whole painting, and I'm just deepening up the center, adding a little bit of detail, but really adding kind of those deeper shadows in between the petals and then also to the center. So now I'm wondering, okay, so what am I going to do with this? Am I done? Do I need to add more? I'm just kind of reassessing, taking a look. I'm going back to my palette. So I used over there the Hansa Yellow Light mixture. Here I'm pointing to Pyro Orange, but I didn't use Pyro Orange mixture. I used the Quinacridone Rose. And then that's the raw umber violet, the original color, which is the base color for all of those swatches. And I'm kind of thinking about what I want to do, and I decided that I cleaned off my brush and it's just wet right now, and I'm just going to feather out the edges of the center here. They looked a little harsh, so I'm just feathering that out a little bit and letting that color, the raw umber violet, run, and that's actually going to create some hard edges and hard spots on this because it's a wet on dry technique. And so it'll just give me a few more texture and spots, and then I'll let this completely dry. Off camera, I added the pen details and the Zentangle, which is what you see here in the close-up. So I added some detailed lines, some kind of wrinkles and pleats to the petals. I added a little bit more structure to the center of the flower. Also to the stem, I added a green stem. That green is Pyroline green, which is one of my favorites. And for the background, I used a super wet mop brush and just picked up some of that Mayan dark blue and raw umber violet and added that to the background and just kind of like a really quick sweeping wash. And I hope you guys enjoyed this project. Totally different for what I normally share on my channel. Normally I'm stamping and making cards. So definitely let me know if you enjoyed this video with a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'm excited to hear your comments down below. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you real soon with more inspiration.